On today's Poker Live podcast, we discuss the biggest angle, debatably, in poker history that took place last Friday that everybody in the poker world is talking about. And yeah, we're going to talk about that. What's going on, guys? Maybe some jokes will be told, too. What's going on, guys? Join Grimone, a.k.a. Chicago Joey here, coming to you from GTO headquarters out here in beautiful Las Vegas during the World Series of Poker 2018. Joined today on the podcast by a young man who was involved in one of the strangest incidents I've ever seen on televised poker, where him and a young gentleman named Armenian Mike got into a hand where Armenian Mike made a $10,000 river bet into a $900 pot and got instantly called by Feldman. And then the man was saying he's joking. He said, "I'm Bill Burr, I'm Louis C.K., I'm Dave Chappelle, I'm joking with you, Feldman. Give me back the money." They argued for 7.5 minutes. A floor man came over. A floor man did not make a decision. Luckily, there was a young man by the name of Garrett Edelstein at the table to help facilitate. And then the incident was resolved. And we're going to find out exactly what happened from there. Is Armenian Mike going to play on the show? Was this a scripted event? Was this like WWE? Is Feldman like Vince McMahon? Did this actually not happen? Or what's going on with it? And we're going to talk about all the things I've been reading in the comments for the past bunch of days. We're joined by the producer, the co-owner, the organizer, the man who is known as young Ryan Feldman, the man getting better at poker as well too, Ryan Feldman. What's up, Ryan? Welcome officially to the show.
Thanks. It is an honor to be on your show. I feel like maybe I've made it in poker now that I'm on the Joey Ingram podcast.
All it took was listening to a man attempt to tell you a joke for 8 minutes and to make it on the show, and now we're officially on the show.
Wow. Thanks to Armenian Mike, I'm now big time.
Feldman, what's been going on since this incident? This has been one of the things I've posted on Twitter, on Instagram, on my YouTube. It's got the most comments of anything I've ever posted in my entire life. I don't know what this means about the world or about things in general. I think it means that this was a ridiculous thing that took place. And what's kind of been the reaction from the people that you've talked to in the poker community since that point?
I've got so many texts and calls and messages on social media and whatnot the last few days since Friday night. It's insane. I've heard from anybody in poker and even people that aren't in poker that I just haven't talked to in forever. I've heard from, it's just amazing. I appreciate everybody who reached out. Everyone pretty much said the same thing. Like, "Oh man, that's crazy. What happened? Oh, that sucks. You're such a nice guy. You handled it so well. Like blah, blah, blah. That's crazy." There wasn't really anything, any insight that anybody really added to it. They just kind of wanted to reach out and let me know that they saw it. And, but yeah, it was cool to hear from everybody, but it was a little overwhelming, just getting so many calls and texts. And it's amazing the reaction from the poker world. It really is. It's like people haven't seen something quite like this before. And, the poker community obviously is a small community, but it's small and big at the same time, and word spreads fast in the poker community. And thanks to you, when you put something out like that, everybody sees it. All the websites pick it up, and now people are posting on Facebook and whatnot. And your video had, like, when you posted it on Twitter, I think 80,000 views or more. Somebody else posted on Facebook had over 100,000 views. And I don't know. I just think everybody is amazed at what happened. It's not something you see every day.
So, Armenian Mike, is this guy going to be back on the show, Ryan? I posted a video the other day. We talked more about it. A lot of people said the guy should be banned for life. Ban this motherfucker. Ban him from the show. I don't agree with that, guys. I don't agree he should be banned for life. I don't think this guy is the worst guy of all time. Feldman's getting a lighting. I don't know. He's getting a light put in there. What's happening here? Where's he going? Is that you getting a joke told to you? Are they shutting you down? What's going on over there? Is that Armenian Mike? Is he coming to shut you down? Is he telling you a joke again?
Wayne was trying to give me tips on lighting, but
thank you, Wayne. Shout out my guy Wayne. I love Wayne Ching. Shout out Wayne, man. What a man of the people.
I'm working here. He's behind the scenes.
So what happened with Armenian? What's Armenian Mike? He's obviously been a long-time regular on the show. You have a relationship with him. You speak to him. What's the deal with him? What's the relationship with him? We're going to see him on the show in the future, or where does he stand with things right now?
I have not talked to Armenian Mike since then. He has not called me. I'm not going to call him. It's a weird incident. I don't know how he feels about it. And I'm sure there's people around him telling him things. I know one of the people connected to the show talked to him. But I haven't talked to him. And I'm going to kind of just let it play out. We're not having him on the show. We decided it's a bad look for our show to have him on, and indefinitely he will not be on the show. We made that decision. It's just, there's no reason we need to have him on the show again. And it's just a bad look for us. And, you know, people aren't going to feel comfortable playing with him with what happened. And honestly, like if he plays on the show, there's going to be a lot of negative things said towards him. So it's just, we just don't want to have him involved. It's not what Live at the Bike is about. Integrity and things like that are very important for us here at Live at the Bike. You know, when there's something that happens that hurts our reputation, we take that very seriously. We want to be a show where people are having fun, where people enjoy playing with each other, where it resembles a real poker table in Los Angeles. Where rules
doesn't an incident like that resemble an actual poker table in Los Angeles, to be fair?
Yeah, that can happen anywhere. I mean, there's things that happen in LA. It's pretty crazy. It's like the Wild West out here. You know, like the thing is, I don't know about other poker shows, but I know our show, there's nothing, not an ounce that's scripted about it. We don't tell anybody like, hey, say this, do this, whatever. They just come to play. They sit down at the table, and the only things I tell them before the show are if they're a new player, how to put their cards in the box. And then I tell them when they add money to the table or rebuy to tell the dealer right away how much you're adding on so we can get on the graphic. I tell them to keep their cell phones off the table, and if they want to use their cell phones, they have to turn away from the table or step away from the table. And I tell them that, you know, other rules like no prop betting, you know, things like that, as far as like actual rules of poker in California. And that's it. Those are the only things that I tell them. We don't tell them like, hey, this is a show, man. Go out there and put on a show or create some controversy or get in a fight or say some funny things. Like, no, they just come to play. A lot of these guys literally show up 2 minutes before the game starts or sometimes late, and they sit down and they just play. And the way that our system is set up, if you've never been here, and I know obviously you've been here a lot, Joey, is you know how it is in the room. There's cameras in the wall. So there's little cameras that look like webcams in the wall, and they're manually they're operated from back here. I'm in the control room right now. And back here in the corner, Brian, our director, he controls all the cameras on his computer. And so when you're playing in that Live at the Bike room, a lot of the time, people don't even think about the fact that they're on camera. They just act naturally the way they are. It's different on some of the other poker shows, I imagine. I haven't been on them, but I imagine that there's cameramen and big cameras and lights and right. It's not the case for us. Like, we set it up like a regular poker table, and that way people feel comfortable, and they treat it no differently than any other poker table they might be at. Yeah, some people will try to put on a show, but for the most part, they're just trying to play poker and have fun. They're in their natural habitat, you know? And, you know, they're like animals in their natural. We got bears and we got lions. They're just roaming around and playing jokes on each other.
What is this show now? There's no more run it twice. You can't tell a damn joke. Why is anyone even going to watch or play on Live at the Bike? I don't even understand. For heaven's sakes, you're telling me I go on there, I can't run it twice because a guy got that ruined. I can't tell a simple joke. Well, I'm a joke teller. I can't tell a joke on the damn show now. It doesn't make sense.
Well, I heard you have an idea with a joke chip. You know, maybe.
So listen, guys. Here's what I did. We played a Pros vs. Joe sit and go. I think it was a 2-card Pot Limit tournament. Me, Andrew Nemi, Ebony Kenny. My ex-girlfriend's father was actually in that game. Shout out to Fritz and Sean McCormick from the Aria Poker Room, and then my man Carl. What up, Carl? And a woman that never played before, who's my friend Glenn's wife. I'm forgetting somebody in the game. My Betty Benton as well. Shout out Benton too. But we were playing this, and we had one joke chip, Ryan. So the joke bet was on the river. If you went all in and you got called, you could throw in the joke chip and you take the bet back. You get one joke chip per sit and go. And it was the first time in history that the joke bet has been implemented in place. And that was directly inspired by Live at the Bike and Armenian Mike. So I have to thank you for that, because I utilize it to my advantage, because I had already done some work in my head on what GTO would be with the joke bet in place. So yeah, it was fun.
It'll be interesting to add that to the solvers and see how you factor that in.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, do you, I guess, you know, it's kind of, I'm trying to make some positivity out of the incident that did take place. And kind of when we go back to the incident, we talk about what happened with it. Do you think there's any possible way that Armenian Mike was joking with you?
Okay. So this is how I interpreted it. Now, first of all, in the moment when it happened, I really wasn't sure what to think of it. You know, it's easy to figure it out and decipher what happened when you look back at it when I watch your video, right? But when I'm there and I'm on the show, and I didn't get to see it till we were on a little over a 2-hour delay that day. And so, like, I didn't see anything until much later. And it's really hard to decipher what actually happened, what he really was thinking, how much of it was real and how much he was lying until later. And in the moment, I'm just thinking, like, wait, is he really trying to say that he's joking? Does he really think that he doesn't have to pay that money? Or is he pulling an angle here? And I really wasn't sure. And it's a delicate situation because I like Armenian Mike a lot. I know him. He's an interesting person. You know, he's not, I wouldn't say he's a normal person. You know what I mean? Like, he's older, you know, he's got his issues. He's got his,
older,
you know,
got his issues. I know a lot of people like that.
You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't think clearly and rationally as much as some people, you know what I mean? He's also from a different background than me. You know, it's like some things he says, I have to kind of figure out what he means. But I like him a lot. He's a super cool guy. I love his sarcasm. Like, when he is in the right mood, he's great action on the show. He's become, like, he went from being super boring on the show and super tight passive to being crazy and like an amazing personality character on the show who people actually think is hilarious. So anyway, in the moment, I wasn't really sure what to think of it. But then when I went back and watched, you know, I think when he said joking, he means I'm bluffing, I'm messing around, but he's been joking from his mindset a lot. He'd been going all in for 10x pot shoves a lot. The problem is that when he's joking, he's taking the pot, right? So it's not a joke means like, haha, just kidding, take the money back. But his version of joking was, you know, haha, I didn't really mean to go all in. I'm going to take the pot though. You know, so you can't do that. You can't joke. You can't like joke and when they fold, you take the pot, but joke when you're called and you don't have to pay. You know, that's just not how it works, right? Like that's just not fair. And I don't think he was thinking about that in the moment. He was trying to be very unfair. So yes, in his mind, he was joking, but the word should be, I was bluffing. And if you watch Armenian Mike a long time ago, Armenian Mike used to never bluff. Like, Armenian Mike's thing, if you studied Armenian Mike and wanted to play against him exploitatively on LiveAtTheBike, it was he never bluffs. So you just fold to him when he bets, right? And, you know, if you bet really big, like, he'll just fold because, you know, you can bluff him easily and he never bluffs you. Like, super easy player to play against, right? But over time, over the last 6 months or so, he's become really crazy and spazzy and random and really hard to play against. His overbets are all over the place. I don't know why. I don't know if he's been in the lab. I don't know if he's been using a randomizer. I don't know what he's doing, but he's all over the place. He's been super fun on the show. And so I think he's been doing a lot of these overbet bluffs, but maybe he doesn't understand what a bluff is. In his mind, it's a joke. And that's how.
That's a joke right there, isn't it? You're kidding, right? He doesn't. Come on, this guy plays live poker all the time in Los Angeles. You really think he a bluff to him is a joke? You think that's what he's saying?
Well, when he 10x overbets, because his only bluffs that I would say 99% of the bluffs he's made over the last 6 months or so have been massive overbets. Like, he doesn't bluff for half pot. He's not balanced bluffing, you know? So, like, his bluffs are, I'm going to shove 7K into 1K. But he's never been caught. Like, I don't think I can't remember a time when he's ever been caught for a massive overbet like that. There was one where he overbet bluffed and he got caught by Yosef, and Yosef tanked for a few minutes and made a really good call. Other than that, I don't know if I remember any spot where Armenian Mike made a sick, massive overbet bluff like this and got caught. So the fact that he got snapped for the first time ever,
right?
He 10x overbet and got snapped. I think that he was shocked and that he didn't really understand what that meant.
So what I thought was he looked like he was shocked. He couldn't believe he got called, and then he went into preservation mode, or he was just trying to say anything or do anything to get you to pay back his money. And that's when the angle starts in the hand, because now he's trying to angle. He's trying to get the leverage your friendship. He's trying to leverage his position as a fun player, who debatably as a fun player, from what I've seen, who's plays on the show. He tried to leverage that situation, which almost worked out. You could argue is if Garrett doesn't speak up, it felt like to me there was a chance that he might have been able to keep that money somehow.
Yeah, exactly. And I totally agree. I think that's exactly what happened. I think that if I had, now in the moment, he goes all in. I have the second nuts. I'm snapping. I'm not wasting time. That's just how I play poker. I'm not going to, take forever in a spot that isn't difficult. Looking back on it, if I had taken a few seconds and been like, wait, he's all in? Or Mike, you're all in? And then he's like, yes. Or if I just took 10 seconds and be like, oh, Mike, I have to call you a full house. And then I call. Now, then, it's less likely that he can use that argument like, oh, I was just joking, take his money back because, a few seconds went by and the bet was there. But then again, it could also backfire because if I waited a few seconds to call, then in that time, he might try to take his money back and be like, no, I was just joking. Right. So I'm not going to think about that in the moment. It's just really hard to do. I know some players have said that they do that where they wait a few seconds when there's a crazy bet like that. And also, I guess, it's not embarrassing him as much if I don't snap. But, again, I'm not thinking about that in the moment. And yeah, I think that he was so shocked that I snapped that he wanted to do whatever he could to try to take advantage of me. If it was Garrett, if it was Andy, if it was Art, whoever at the table, I don't think that he would be very likely to try that. I think he tried it because it was me and because he thinks we have some sort of relationship on the table, but that's just not how it works. When I go to play poker on the table, like I'm going for your throat. Like I'm trying to play the best of my ability. I'm trying to show the LiveAtTheBike family that, this is how I play. I'm here to win. I'm not here to embarrass myself. I'm not here to give away money, and maybe that's
no joke. Listen, Feldman, when you play, you're not a joke teller, right? You're taking the joker. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think that maybe some players don't get that. And obviously Mike isn't very rational in general, like me and you or other people are. So he doesn't really get these things. But, like I've been in, obviously I've had a ton of hands with Armenian Mike where I've bluffed him, where I've gotten to pay me. I had a hand where Armenian Mike stacked me for 4K. He leveled me into calling off with 10s against jacks against him on the show a couple months ago. And so we've had plenty of big hands we played against each other over the years. But, maybe a few months ago, he did say to me, like, look, when I'm in a hand with you, like, don't, like, if I bet big, like, don't call me, right? Like, he said that. Okay, so now he says that to me, and he tells me, like, I'm going to bet and don't call me because I have it and I don't want your money. But then in the game, he's going to 10x river bluff against me, right? It's like he's trying to take, like, if I folded, he's not going to give me back that $900. Like, he's going to take that money. But he doesn't understand that, and he doesn't really think about that, and that's the issue here.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I said something about, does he think he's your friend or something like that, or was this?
I mean, we're all. I mean, I love all the guys on the show. Like, I don't put people on the show that I don't like. Everybody in the show I have some sort of relationship with, whether we're an acquaintance or a friend or just a poker friend, whatever you want to call it. Like, I don't know. To me, there's certain people in LiveAtTheBike that I would consider like a really good friend, and there's certain people I would consider just an acquaintance. I'm never, not like I'm going and hanging out at bars with Armenian Mike or going to Cabo with him or something. But we talk about the show. I
would pay a lot of money to watch you and Armenian Mike go out in Cabo for a weekend. I think I'd pay money to see that. Yes. Can you imagine the jokes told if you two go up and talk to a couple of fine ladies down there in Cabo, you and Armenian Mike walking up there? What's up, ladies? What up? What do you guys do? We play poker and we tell jokes. No, I don't know. I'm just thinking. Listen, I don't know. I'm trying to find the light in this, Ryan. I'm trying to find the light in this incident because the comments out there about the incident have been bringing the darkness. That's for sure. People are fired about this. They think the floor man should be fired. Ryan, do you think the floor man should be fired for the way he handled this incident? That's what they think.
No, and I don't want to comment too much on that part because that's a very serious, look, everyone has a job to do, and nobody in that room handled it perfectly. Like, I could have done things differently to help the process in hindsight. Mike obviously said a lot of things that were uncalled for, and the floor obviously could have handled it a little differently. And everybody, like the people at the table could have spoke up or said different things, the dealer, whoever, like everybody could have handled it way different. But in the moment, this isn't rehearsed. We're just trying to react naturally. And I think that, looking back on it, everyone's going to learn something from it about how to handle a similar situation like that in the future. But, Andy, the floor man, like, I think he was a little flabbergasted. He didn't really know what to do, what to say. He wasn't sure if he should be, treating me the same as any other player, or if he should be letting me handle the situation. I mean, I get it. But I think there's all a learning lesson for everybody. I explained to people afterwards, I want to be treated the same as any other poker player at the table, right? Like, I want to play within the rules the same way as everybody. I don't want a floor man or anybody to come to me and think that I'm different than Armenian Mike or than Garrett Adelstein or, Art or Zio or whoever. Like, I want to be treated the same. When I sit down at a poker table, I'm a poker player, okay? Yes, I have a job. I run LiveAtTheBike, I work for the casino. But when I'm in a hand and there's an actual question about the poker, about the rules, I want to be treated the same as anybody. Don't treat me differently. And I think that was a key that was, maybe overlooked in the moment.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I mean, I don't think the floor man should be fired. It seemed like it was a very unique situation where he came in there. He has a relationship with you. He said, well, you can decide what to do. He probably didn't think he was doing anything malicious, and he probably wouldn't make that same ruling on the outside tables. And I think it's really easy for people to come in and say, hey, we got to punish the floor man or whatever. But I don't think this one incident that took place should define this floor man's job or his ability or really anything. I don't think it's that serious of an issue where we got to say, okay, let's get rid of this guy.
Right. He didn't crush this. He didn't kill the situation. Like, the situation happened and that's it. He tried to help it, but he wasn't sure how much he's supposed to help it. Other people could have handled it differently, whatever. Like, someone in the chat just said, if you wanted to be treated the same, then let the floor man make a ruling. Well, yeah, I did. I didn't say anything. I tried to stay out of it. The whole point was, when I was at the table, I wanted the floor man to come in and say, Mike, you have to pay. That's it. Pay the money and leave. And that's it. I wanted it. That's what I, in my mind, would have loved. Because, yes, I wanted the money because that's what's fair. And, I played the hand well. Like, I don't want to play a hand like that. I made a great check in the river, got this guy to bluff. I snapped him off. I had a full house, and then get free rolled and he gets like, no, I don't want that. Right. But in the moment, I'm trying to figure out a way to walk Mike off the ledge. I don't know how much of what he's saying is him actually believing he's joking and believing he shouldn't have to pay, and how much of it is him trying to like somehow save face and convince me to give him money back. I don't know how much is what. And so all I want is somebody to come in, whether it's people at the table or floor man or dealer, whoever, and just say, Mike, you went all in, he called. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. You have to pay. You have no choice. There's nothing. There's no side deals. You pay and you got to leave. And that's it. And that's what I wanted. But I didn't want to be the person to have to say that, and you could say what you want about it. People in the chat on social media could say like, oh, well, you should have been more aggressive and you should have just told Mike, like, pay me. Yes. But at the same time, like, I'm also trying to, not piss him off. And I still have a relationship with him and he's still a character on the show at that time. And I don't want him to be too upset at me. I want him to understand that he just lost a poker hand to a random player at the table. This isn't about anything personal. I'm not taking his money, but I don't know how rational he is and how much he would understand that. And so I have to figure out a way to soften it. And I wanted someone else to say what you want about it. You could say that, no, that's not fair. You should be the one stepping up. I wanted other people, whether floor or people at the table, to say, hey, Mike, you have to pay, so that the pressure was off of me. And that's why I kind of just said, hey, Mike, I don't know, man. I don't know what I want. I don't know. I don't want anything. He kept saying, do you want my money? Do you want my money? Like, no, I just want what's fair. I just want what the rule is. I want to play by the rules. I don't want to treat you differently than somebody else. Like, I don't want to feel bad for you. I want the hand. I want the money. And that's kind of what I should have said. And that's what I was thinking. And I just wanted somebody to come in and say, Mike, you have to pay.
So I think that does make the other players at the table potentially put them in a tough spot, like a Garrett. Even though Garrett then sticks up, he still is sort of, injecting himself into this and opens himself up for criticism and opens himself up for a situation between himself and with Mike. And it's really something that you shouldn't really have to do. I feel like the players at the table, like, it's kind of on the player involved in that to be the one to say, hey, like, this is what happened. The floor man, first of all, should make the ruling and say, hey, this is how it is. But when that doesn't happen, I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I think that it shouldn't be on. I don't know. It kind of makes our players potentially looks bad and puts them in a bad spot.
I agree.
That's what people are hoping for.
I agree, and I understand. And at the same time, with my position, it is different than anybody else. Where Like another player at the table can like doesn't really matter as much if Mike hates them. You know what I mean? But for me, I'm trying to keep relationships with all the players on my table. So like if Garrett was in the hand or if Art was in the hand and they just told him like, Mike, yes, I want your money. I called. You have to pay. You know, and he hates them. It's like, so be it. Like if he hates them, he's still going to give them action, you know, next time he plays, most likely. So yeah, but the players at the table, I'm not saying that they have to say something. I'm not expecting them to. I'm just saying that I was hoping that somebody else would because I didn't know what to do in that moment. Like when I was asking Garrett and other people at the table, what should I do? I was genuinely asking, like, what do I do? Like, because I actually wasn't sure in the moment. I didn't know if it was an angle or not. I didn't know if he actually was joking in his mind. And I wasn't sure if the right thing to do here would be to give him back his money. Like for those first 2 minutes, I wasn't sure. Honestly, people think that's crazy. And they think, why would you ever give him his money back? I didn't want to, but I didn't know if there was like an etiquette thing or if I'm supposed to just let something like that slide because, you know, Mike's a recreational player and he's confused. I wasn't sure. And I wanted somebody to just tell me like, no, Ryan, like you can't ever give him money back. Like that's horrible. You have to take the money. And so credit to Garrett for stepping up and making it clear, like, no, there's no question about it. Mike, you have to pay. And so I'm not saying that anybody had to say something, but I give Garrett a lot of credit for being cool. And I look up to Garrett in situations like this because he's experienced. He's the captain at the table. He's rational. He's like a good person. Great poker player. He understands how everything works, the social dynamic. He's a real live pro. And credit to him for really stepping up.
Yeah, definitely credit to him. I think that without him, he might not have gotten paid in the situation where I guess that then Matt decides if it is making the money more important than other things. And I feel like at poker, when you want to get paid in a situation like that, so kind of getting paid that money is one of the most important things you got to worry about in that spot. And I think I'd probably worry a little bit less about my relationship with the player. And obviously it's a unique situation because you have this show and it's a production and you want to keep the characters around and you want to keep the people that come back and play the 25-50 to keep coming back to the game and making it a positive game. So I can understand the dilemma that you're in that spot. And I'd like to say I'd handle it one way or the other, but obviously I'm not sure. So maybe the way you did it, where attempting to deflect a little bit from you to not ruin the relationship with him. And then maybe that's the GTO way to handle it. Not really sure. I don't know. Maybe a joke for a joke or something like that. Maybe you take his money and say, no, I know I'm joking too. And then I don't know what the solution is. I've never seen it happen before. Ryan, I've never seen this happen before.
Yeah, me either. Like I wasn't prepared. I didn't know it was going to happen, you know, and everything you saw was me reacting naturally. It was my natural emotions, my natural reaction.
Garrett, what do I do here? Garrett? What do I do here?
I really didn't know. It wasn't about putting on a show. I didn't think about people watching. Afterwards, I was like, oh shit, like this is going to be the most talked about thing in poker. I didn't know it was going to be quite as big as it became, but I told everyone at the table a little while after, I said, this is going to be way bigger than the Harry Chris thing from a couple months ago. This is going to blow up, and this is going to be the biggest thing in poker. I didn't know it was going to be like it became like 3 to 5 times bigger than I thought it would be, but I already thought it was going to be like a top thing on 2+2, and people talk about it on Twitter. But yeah, I mean, looking like if I knew in the moment that 100% that he was angling, so to speak, that he was trying to save his money and there was nothing else, it was not about anything else, then I would have handled it differently. But I didn't know that in the moment. Those first 2 minutes, there was just things going through my mind. I wasn't sure what to say. I was trying to figure out long-term effects, all of that, process that. Wait, is 10K worth long-term, this and that? You know, I don't know. I was trying to figure out all that stuff because I wasn't prepared for it. But if right away when it happened, if somebody said to me, hey, Mike 100% is angling right here, he's trying to save money, there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it, then I would have handled the situation completely different.
Listen, guys in the chat, one like on the video equals one more joke that me and Ryan will tell at the end of this video right here. So if you like it, no, this incident's just I mean, I don't know, it's kind of crazy that this
hey, well, you know what's great about No Limit Hold'em compared to PLO? You can snap off 12x pot river bluffs.
Yeah, I mean, I see your argument for that, but I'm still going to argue that Pot Omaha is the greater game. And yeah, but I see where you're coming from, though. I mean, in retrospect, though, it's got to feel good to be able to win that pot, though, and take that money down. And
how many times in like poker history, for that big of a pot or bigger, has somebody ever shoved 10x or more pot and gotten snapped? Like it could not have happened very often.
Let me run through the database in my mind of incidents that have taken place over the years since 2003. I can't actually remember a time like that very vividly in my mind. By the way, we could talk about the check that you made on the river. Think about that. What an all-star check. I think the normal play there is to bet your full house on the river. The flush gets there and maybe has the flush, but you made one of the best checks in poker history by checking there too.
Thanks, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was, I had a plan and it worked. So way more than I thought it would. But yeah, I mean, so for people that didn't watch the whole hand. So first of all, let me bring it back a little bit because, when you showed the
bring
video,
it back, Feldman, bring it back. Where are we bringing it back to?
You didn't show the whole entire thing. There was even more to it. And so some people in the chat might not actually know exactly what happened. Okay. So, and there's a lot of weird parts of this. So back it up a few hands. 2550 is a collection game. So every half hour, we pay a certain amount of money instead of a drop every hand. And as you know, more collection is better. So
so you have a rake you take in this game, right?
Collection every half hour.
A rake you take in the game then?
No, we don't rake here at the casino. We drop or we take collection.
What is the difference?
I don't know.
You guys, is live at the bike of the belief that more collection's better for the game?
Always more collection's better.
Okay, all right, continue on.
So we're coming up on collection, and there's still an hour or so left in the show. And for some reason, Armenian Mike said, I'm leaving on collection. I think he said he had to be somewhere. I forget what he said, but his son had an event somewhere and he had to go with his son. And so he said, I have to leave. I'm going to leave on collection. So we said, okay. So he was about 4 or 5 hands from the big blind.
Wait a second. Let me make this straight. Collection is rake, correct?
Yes, but it's not per hand. It's per half hour. It's time collection.
It's a different version of rake.
Correct.
Okay, I got to call it like it is. It's rake. Okay, go on.
Remember, like it's like when you're at the Rio.
I can't take this rebranding of the word rake. Okay, I'm not going to stand for it.
When you're at the Rio at 3 a.m. and they're like, attention time. What do they say? Attention time game dealers. It's my favorite part of the night.
Rake, exactly.
So he's about 4 hands from the big blind, and he says, I'm leaving a collection. So I said, Mike, just play to your big blind. It's fine. Because it was collection pot that hand. And I said, Mike, just play to your big blind. Like, play your free hands. It's fine. Sometimes at a casino, you'll allow the player to play their free hands to their big blind even after collection is taken. Some casinos don't allow that. Some do. I said, Mike, just play your free hands to your big blind. It's fine. So that happens. A few hands go by where I think one of the hands he might have overbet. And then he's under the gun. So it's his last hand. That's why his chips were in the rack. People ask, why do they allow racks on the table? I don't know, but he wasn't racked up the whole time. He was racked up because he was leaving that hand. So he racks up before that hand. He's under the gun, and he limps. And I said, "Oh, last hand, Mike. Make it a good one." Who knew what would happen, right? I said, "Make it a good one." So he limps, and then he says something along the lines of, and you can see it in the video. He says something along the lines of, if I hit anything, I'm going all in. He was serious.
He was serious, for sure.
So it was not a joke. So
was it? I don't know.
So a few people limp. They're probably trying to, get in Mike's last hand just in case. I'm in the small blind in the 25 with King 7 off, a hand that I'm never playing for any amount more than where I have to call 25 into 300. And so I complete. And the big blind checks. And so we go, I believe, 5 or 6 ways. It was 6 ways. It was 300 in the pot. Flop King 7-3 rainbow. Beautiful. I'm looking to check raise here. I'm thinking Mike might take a stab. Somebody might take a stab with a king. I'm going to check raise. It checks through. Turns a 10, brings a backdoor heart draw. King 7-3, 10. Beautiful card. There's draws on the board. There's backdoor heart draw, etc., etc. So I decide to lead out pot. So I lead out 300 into 300. And Armenian Mike calls, and what did he say? He said, if I hit my card, you fucked up.
Yes.
Or he said something like, "If I'll tell you if I hit my card." That's what he said, something like that. "I'll tell you if I hit my card. You fucked up," something like that. And I'm like, okay, wasn't really sure exactly what he was saying, but so I said something like, "Oh, what card do you need?" Then the river comes out a King of Hearts, and I'm like, okay, I have a full house. It's really hard for Mike to have a super strong value hand at this point. I have all the kings, and I have 7. What hand is he going to limp under the gun with, check back the flop with, and then just call the turn with, right? Like, there's very few hands that he can have here. Backdoor Hearts is a very common hand he could have, or he could just have complete air. We've seen him make sick bluffs in the past. It's a heads-up pot now. So he either has hearts. Once in a blue moon, he somehow has a king or some stronger hand, but I doubt it. So most likely he either has hearts or he has air. And either way, he's probably going to bet the river with those hands. If he has some sort of marginal value hand, I'll take my chances that he checks back, and I regret it where he might have called river. But honestly, Mike doesn't really pay off that many rivers for big bets anyway. He's more of a guy that you get small value for, or you get value on flop and turn against. And so I decide to check, and he goes all in. And I'm like, oh my God, this is amazing. I never thought that he actually was going to go all in. I thought he might spaz, but not to that effect. And and that was it. So, that's why I checked. I just thought that the merits of checking were much more valuable than betting in that spot. I think if I bet $100, he folds.
So you get the money 10. Give him back the money or anything like that?
No. I didn't give him anything. No way. No, I'm not doing that. And I haven't talked to him since the moment that he gave me the money and then kind of walked out, walked back in, walked out. I haven't talked to him. I haven't heard from him. I don't know, what kind of state of mind he's in right now. I don't know. But no, I'm not giving anything back. I didn't give anything back. Hell no. Like, I earned that money. I play, yes, I'm the producer of the show. Yes, I'm a commentator. Yes, I work at the bike. But I play poker at the table, like I said, to make money. I am there to crush people. I'm there to have fun. And socially, I want to have fun. I want to, make friends. I want to have a great time at the table. But when I'm in a hand, I'm trying to win the hand. To win the most or lose the least. And that's my goal. Like, I am a poker player / producer / commentator. But I'm making a lot of my money off of poker. Luckily I'm making other money off of other things, like my other, working at the bike, working at LiveAtTheBike. But my goal is to make money in poker, and I'm not gonna give somebody a free roll. Like, hell no, that's not happening.
So what do you think about? Look, go away, Echo. Go away. Go away. Go away. Echo. Go away. Echo. Feldman, you might need to go back out and come back in to the chat.
We okay? No, you want me to?
Yeah, there's a little echo, but you don't have the headphones.
What should I do?
I'll just leave and come back.
Hit end and then hit call again?
Yep. And I'll give it some shout outs to the chat.
Okay.
Who we got in the chat today, guys? What's going on, guys? I see my boy Wayne Chiang out there. What up, Wayne Poppy? 1 like equals 1 joke told by Ryan Feldman in today's podcast. If you like the video, for every 1 like, Feldman will come back and tell 1 joke equivalent. 1 like equals 1 Alec Torelli phone call. We'll do that in a little bit too. We're going to be getting an expert on Angle's input on this. I think people in the chat were really asking about this. We actually got him on standby right now. Is he out there? Hey, is Alec here right now? Is Alec here right now? No? Okay, he's not here yet, but we're going to have him here soon. So who else we got out there, man? Komodo Dragon. What's up, Poppy? What's happening? Johnny Gotti, Steve Baez, John Rice, Carviano. What's up, Carviano? What's going on? Jay Patel, Thomas Robinson, David Freei, E. Howard, Luca Ristic, Nick Beardsley, Andre Cruz. I think I said that name already. Robert S. What's going on, guys? We're waiting for Feldman to come back. He had a couple internet issues right now. And we're going to, if you guys have some questions for Feldman about what took place, please put them in the chat right now. Yes, guys, every like that the video gets will be an equivalent Alec Torelli phone call. Every like we get will be 1 minute I spend with Alec Torelli connecting with him about the incident that took place. Oh my gosh. Adam Clark, what's up, Poppy? What's happening, brother? Can I get Steve Chidwick on the podcast? I think we're going to get Steve Chidwick on the podcast. That'd be a great podcast. Teo G, what's up, Teo G? Appreciate all the comments you leave in the video on my YouTube page. You always give a lot of nice comments in here. Benji Bear, Joey, would you give the money back? Not going to be able to do it. That's for sure. There's no chance I'll be able to do that. Mama, I see Israeli Ron in the chat. Mr. Queen Deuce, legend alive at the bike. What's going on, Israeli Ron? Very nice to see you again, man. I hope everything's going well with you, and I hope that you're getting better at poker. Hope that you're working at your game still and putting in that work, putting in that effort. Hope everything's going well with your business outside of poker, my friend. Who else we got? James Wierpieski. What's up, Poppy? Need an update on the headphones, guys? Did you run them out of town? I've heard the headphones guys at the Rio, who I made a video about, are being less aggressive. And for every like on the video will be 1 hour I spend on the phone with the phone charger guys as they teach me how to be a better salesman, because they are good fucking salesmen. I'm going to tell you that right now. Those phone charger guys could sell a joke from Armenian Mike to any of you guys out there. I'll tell you that right now. What's up? What's up, Feldman? You back?
I'm back. We good?
Yeah, we're good. All right, Feldman, the one thing I hear people say a lot about is they don't like the producer playing on the show, the founder, or not the founder, the owner of the show. They don't like the owner of the show playing on the show. They think for whatever reason it might be a breach of integrity of the game or anything of that nature. And what do you think about that?
Yeah, it's an interesting topic that's really come up. I've seen a lot about it, and I've discussed with a lot of people, and it's interesting. There's polarizing viewpoints on this. So first of all, here's my perspective from the past. When I first started LiveAtTheBike, basically like the end of 2016, the beginning of 2017, I didn't play on the show for maybe I played once at most. I don't remember, for the first 5 months on the show, because I was letting other people play. There's so many people that wanted to play. I was organizing games. I don't need to play. When we got like close to the summer last year, a lot of people were asking me in the chat or social media or in person or whatever, hey, why don't you ever play on the show? Why don't you play on the show? Because I commentate all the time. They want to see me play. Why don't you play on the show? And I'm like, you know what? There's always people that want to play. I'll schedule myself to play once in a while. So the summer came, and it's much deader in the summer. There's a lot of people that don't show up, or I can't fill lineups sometimes. And so I started playing a lot over the summer. And since then, I'd been playing a decent amount on the show. And, and then also as time went on, we stopped having as many bigger games of the bike, like the last few months at least. There hasn't been that many 510s pluses running at the bike. It's been just 5.5 for the most part, other than the show. Mm-hmm. And so if I don't play on the show or after the show, then I don't really have an opportunity to play bigger. And honestly, like, I think I play better in uncapped games than I do in capped games. And so
deep stack Feldman's arrived on the scene. Watch out, guys.
Yeah. And so I wanted opportunities to play in the bigger games. And, if I don't play on the show, then I don't have the opportunity. So anyway, those are some of the main reasons. Now, other shows, okay? And I'm not saying that anybody's right. I'm not saying necessarily that there is an answer. But let's look at other shows, okay? Poker Night in America. Matt Glantz was the producer of the show. He played in the show all the time. No issues, right? Like, he was always on the show. I don't know, Poker After Dark. I'm not really sure, how many the guys that run that show are poker players. I know, was it Brent Hanks? I think he played in the show once. But maybe, or I don't even know. But hosts of games, okay? Look at the casino. Any casino you go to where there's a host. Hosts play in the game all the time. They play in the game, okay? Now, if people want to say, oh, but this is different because it's a production, whatever. There's a booth, there's live cards, all that stuff. I get it. I totally get it. And that's why I want to make sure that it's a super priority for us to have things like no cell phones on the table. And I tell the players, if you use your phone, you have to step away. If a dealer sees someone like with cards that has their phone, like, they cannot deal them in. They have to stop.
So why is that? I mean, because
because someone's going to have a question.
That's the security. That's easy to get around. It's not like that's not hard to bypass. You don't got to be a genius to figure out how to bypass that.
What do you mean? Well, it's just, you can't, like, when you're playing at the poker table, you should not have access to any sort of communication.
But you do, okay? If you got the phone in your pocket or you have the phone next to you, and that rule is not always enforced as well too. So it is fairly easy for someone, if they see things in real time, to send that information to the players.
Okay, I don't know how, but okay, but that could be said the same on any show then.
I agree completely. Yeah,
we have to do whatever it takes to. We have to do whatever it takes to make sure that we're taking as many steps of security as possible. Obviously, there's crazy things that can happen. I don't know what they are, but the easiest thing for us to do is say you cannot use phones at the table. You can't have headphones. Things like that. If we see someone doing it, we're going to stop them. We're going to pull them off the table. We're going to raise the issue. And so, obviously we're on delay and whatnot. That's part of security. All we can do is take as many steps as possible. Now, people think that, because I'm the producer, that I have some sort of, I don't know. I get it. I get what you're saying. I suppose that I could ask the players in any game and say, hey, are you guys okay with me playing today? And if someone isn't that comfortable, then I won't play. I suppose that I could do that. But honestly, like, most of the players I've talked to want me to play. They like my action. They like having a game, and if there's somebody, though, that says, you know what, no, I don't really feel comfortable, then fine, I won't play. But the people in the chat that are watching or whatever, like, I mean, I love the people that are watching, but, like, honestly, they just are saying things. They don't really know why I should or shouldn't be playing. It's really just about the players at the table, I think. And as long as they're comfortable and they know that there's no issues with me playing, then I don't really see an issue. Again, I want to be treated the same as any other poker player. And, like here at LiveAtTheBike, at the casino, like, we're super, super worried about our integrity and security issues all the time. And that's like our number one priority. Like, if we don't have integrity, then what are we? Right. So I can assure everybody watching that integrity is the biggest priority, and we're constantly evaluating that and discussing and making sure that there's never any questions or issues that can even remotely arise. And the moment that somebody brings something to our attention, like, hey, we shouldn't be doing this or this isn't right, we immediately will take a step to make sure that we take care of whatever that issue might be and make sure there are no issues in the future. If that helps answer your question. But I don't know.
I wrote down a video idea now. So
I don't know if I'm going to keep playing on the show all the time, if I'm going to take a break a little bit, if it doesn't matter, if I should keep playing. Some people believe that I should be playing on the show even more because people want to see me play. They want to know that the commentators can win in the game, et cetera, where other shows, the commentators don't play. And that's the issue. And so I think that, what would you rather see? Would you rather listen to commentators, and would you rather watch instructional videos of people who don't play on the show and don't show their skills? Or do you want to watch people who you've seen consistently win on the show and crush it?
So it's a business decision for you to play on the show, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, well, not 100%, but yeah, it's well, obviously I want to win, and it's good for me, to just win in good games. But mostly it's because I want people to see me play, and I want, to get hands in so that people can see my hands, and they can, we can use those hands as videos, and, people can talk about it when I commentate and whatnot. And it's just good for me to have a face on the air and people to see me play and see my skills. Like, why should I represent the brand as a commentator, as a guy who runs the show, if I haven't proven that I can win these games, right? Like we're like the poker players who are involved in the most involved, I'll say the most involved people in our broadcast, as far as commentary and promoting the show, is myself, JJ, Dan, Zach, and Wayne. These are all players who have a lot of experience online and live, who have done really well. Wayne's out here propping every day in the limit games, playing no limit as well. He used to play online back in the day. He plays every game well, knows fundamentals really well. JJ crushed it online back in the day. He used to be a 1-2 6 max player, I believe, and probably the most solid player in LA, honestly. Like, I mean, the amount of money that he makes at 2-5-5-5 is just ridiculous. Plays 5-10, 10-20 a lot. And then Dan Zach, who, everyone knows by this point is one of the best, like pound for pound, one of the best in poker.
One of the best. I mean, that's just a hilarious thing to say. I mean, whether he's one of the best in poker or not, it's a different story, but pound for pound, one of the best.
He plays every game. He plays tournaments. He plays no limit. Like, do you know that he's played
pound? Like, I've never heard. I didn't know there was pound for pound rankings in poker. Okay,
of course. Stealth Monk hurts himself, because he's too many pounds. So.
Come on, hey, we're not making my man Stealth Monk. Stealth Monk is a treasure. Okay, God damn it, I'm protecting Stealth Monk. All right.
No, he like Dan Zach. We just put a video up, by the way.
Pound for pound, one of the best poker players in the world. Pound for pound.
Yeah, let's make our pound for pound rankings. I think it's a new thing.
Let's make our pound for pound rankings. Yeah, who would you put on the pound for pound rankings list?
Well, it depends what we define
as. Well, Dan Zach's obviously on the pound for pound ranking list, right? I feel like Tom Dwan's been losing a little bit of weight over in Asia, so he's probably in my pound for pound.
When I say pound for pound, it's not actually about pounds.
So what does it mean?
Like overall best, all things considered.
So why don't you just say one of the overall best, all things considered, poker players instead of pound for pound?
Because we're gonna make it a sport. Make it a sportifying poker, Joey.
Why don't we just take all the terms that every other sport uses and then put them into poker? So like World Series, we'll take the Masters, we'll take the Open, we'll just take the jacket, we'll take every fucking thing that other things do, and then we'll just put them in poker.
Wait, I think this already happened.
Oh, no, you're right. That's true. That did happen. That's right. Okay, pound for pound. Fuck it. Pound for pound rankings list. That's fine. Pound for pound ranking list. I like that a lot.
But yeah, do you know, so anyway, I have to plug, we just put a video up for our subscribers at liveathebike.com. If you sign up there and we have
whoa, you got to pay $300 for this read. I never know. I'm kidding. You just uploaded a strategy. Dan Zach on liveathebike.com. If you're a member and you want to subscribe to see that video, go to the page right now.
Listen, we put a video up. We put strategy videos
$300 up. Feldman. You know the ad spot on here. $300, my friend.
You accept Litecoin.
I accept Litecoin for sure.
So we put a video up the other day on his strategy on how to defend against river overbets. Like this guy, his record against river bets is like absurd on live. Like doesn't even make sense. It's like 80% probably. It's 90%. It's absurd. Like when somebody overbets river, he makes the right fold or makes the right call like every time. It's just doesn't even make sense. What
sample are we looking at here with this?
I don't know. I mean, probably not.
Sounds like a small sample to me.
I mean, he's played probably 30 to 40 shows.
Okay. If anyone out there can go back and clip all the Dan Zach hands where he faced an overbet on the river, I will pay them money, and I will pay you the money that Feldman paid me for that ad he just read for liveathethebike.com.
I bet you he's like 8 for 8 or like 9 for 10 or something like that.
Okay, now we're talking. We're gonna do a little sample. Okay, I'm liking this.
And then against like river bets in general, he's probably like over 70%. It's absurd. Anyway, so we did a video breaking it down. Anyway, my point is that Dan, like a guy who plays every game, it's amazing how good he is at No Limit Hold'em, because I don't think he plays much No Limit Hold'em outside of Live at the Bike because he spends so much time playing draw games and stud games. And
the man is a sick grinder for sure.
And like the fact that he can be that good fundamentally, theoretically at No Limit Hold'em is just amazing, especially with people just getting better and better the way they are. And the fact that he doesn't have time to study No Limit when he's studying other games, it just doesn't make sense. So he's played somewhere in the 30s, I believe, in terms of shows on Live at the Bike, and he's only lost 5 figures once. And he's playing 25, 50, 50, 100, 100, 200, 200, 400. Those are all the games he's playing. He had never lost even, like, I think over 5 or 6K before he had, like, a massive loss the one day. It just doesn't even make sense. It's so amazing.
So he's never lost more than 5,000 in his life?
No, not a lot. I'm talking about Live at the Bike.
Okay.
I'm saying on those Live at the Bike sessions or the days that he plays Live at the Bike, he had never lost 5 figures before the one day when he got crushed. But it's just amazing because, I mean, look, Garrett's won and lost 5 figures almost every single session. And this guy Dan is just so consistent. It's amazing. But I don't know how we got into talking about Dan.
Dan Zach, pound for pound. So what's his equivalent? Consistency. Like LeBron? Is he like, are you saying he's like a LeBron James of poker? Is that what you're trying to say here or what?
LeBron James is like power poker. That's dominant.
Okay. Consistent.
He's like smooth, like John Stockton.
John Stockton of poker. Okay, so Dan Zach's the John Stockton of poker. Who's Karl Malone of poker? Is that Garrett or who's the Karl Malone?
Oh, he does have the guns like Karl Malone, so maybe.
That's true.
Man.
Well, let's get some questions. If anyone has a question in the chat, we can put an end to this madness of this incident that took place. Armenian Mike won't be playing on the show for the foreseeable future. We might be seeing Ryan Feldman still in the mix on the show, still playing on the show, so that's good. We get to see our hero of this story. If this was a movie, Ryan Feldman, our villain, Armenian Mike. The villain's been banished to the joke realm where he'll be telling jokes to all his friends and family and still playing poker. And I don't know, I kind of want to see Armenian Mike make a comeback. I feel like this is just the middle of the saga, Ryan. I think that Armenian Mike has a chance to redeem himself at some point in time and show that he has repented and learned from the incident that took place.
Somebody in the chat asked, like, why I didn't take a few more seconds before I called the river. Well, like when you're in the moment.
We talked about that one, though.
Yeah, when you're in the moment, you just don't think about that. When you're in the moment, you're like, I'm not folding. I have the best hand. I call. Like, yeah, you're not thinking about, I don't want to embarrass this guy, or I want to make sure that he's all in. Or no, like, it was clear. He slid his rack across the table. The dealer said all in. The dealer threw the all in button. I called. It was all within 2 seconds of each other. You're just not thinking about that in the moment. In looking back on it, if I, maybe I would have taken 3 seconds for those reasons to not embarrass him, to clarify that he's all in, all of that. But in the moment, you're not thinking about that. You're just like, oh, wow, free $10,000. I call.
Okay, I agree. Let's find another question about this in the chat potentially, and if I don't have another question in the chat, then we can move on to a couple other topics. I was trying to keep this, Feldman, I'm trying to keep these things under an hour for some of these specific topic videos, but I've never been able to do that in my entire life, so it's actually really hard to keep anything under an hour for me. I could have a podcast for 7 hours, I feel like, with every guest I have on.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had a show, we do our Monday show, around the felt, and we had on like 2 straight weeks, Dan Fleischman and then Kane Callis, who I recommend both of them for you, by the way, if you haven't had them on for podcasts. And both of them were so good. And we went so long with both of them, longer than we usually do. And we could have went so much longer. Both of those guys have so much stuff to talk about.
Another 300 there, Ryan. The fees adding up here for these ads. The fees adding up.
I'm recommending podcast guests.
I'm joking. What? I'm joking.
Have you ever had Fleischman on your pod?
No, I have not had young Daniel on, no.
And I'm sure you haven't had Kane. And obviously Kane played that big hand. So
I think I'm retiring, Ryan. I think this is the last podcast I ever do. I'm going to be honest with
you.
Yeah.
You're not going to have Armenian Mike on?
I think I'm done. No, I would love to have Armenian. Listen, if we can get Armenian Mike on, I would love to have my friend Armenian Mike on. Are you for real?
Do you have any rules for maximum amount of times people are allowed to say cocksucker on your show?
No.
Okay, then yeah, you can have it.
One like in the video equals 1 Armenian Mike guest appearance on the podcast. Yeah, Jimmy Bluffett, that's a good question. Feldman, are you worried about your safety now?
No. I mean, I didn't do anything wrong. Armenian Mike's good people. No, I'm not. Armenian Mike's not a harmful person.
Okay.
He's a big teddy bear.
Okay. You hugged him before?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Okay.
We've shared many intimate moments.
In what capacity?
Don't worry about it.
Okay. Is there some sort of like, is it like a first take or something? What's the context of the moments with Mike?
I don't know. So,
I've heard rumors of some things before, maybe not involving you. I mean, listen, it is what it is. It is what it is, man. There's some out-of-line shit happening in Los Angeles. Let me tell you guys right goddamn now. Yeah, there's some out-of-line things happening in Los Angeles poker world, that's for sure.
He told a joke, I told a joke, we hugged it out.
Are you a good joke teller? Do you think telling jokes is one of your strong suits?
I think so. I'm not one to come up with jokes. I'm more just like improv in the moment, say something.
Well, give us a joke, Ryan. Give us one joke.
I can't. I'm not a joke person. I don't make up jokes. If I'm at the poker table with you, though, you can ask people that play with me a lot. I'll just say something totally random that doesn't make sense, and it might be funny. But I'm not Wayne. I'm not coming up with 3rd grade rehearsed jokes. I'm coming up with I'll just say whatever's on my mind, or that's what she said, or joke, or whatever. Like something random at the table, out of line. Some sort of borderline politically incorrect comment that I might make.
Shout out to my man Wayne. I like Wayne Chiang a lot. He's cool. He's very cool. All right, we'll take a couple more questions about the incident. Then the incident. We'll put any other last parting words to say on the incident, Ryan? What's our takeaway? What do we learn from this? Where do we go from here, Ryan? Where do we go?
The show goes on. I mean, it is what it is. Like, this is an isolated incident. This isn't, certainly we learn things about like everybody involved, how to treat a situation like this in the future. But, I don't know, just an isolated incident. It was unfortunate that it happened, got blown out of proportion a little bit. But, all's well that ends well. He just put on a show before he forfeited the money. And really, that's all there was to it. And he shouldn't have tried what he did. And he's not thinking about the fact that he's on the air, or he doesn't care, or whatever. But, look, I don't hate Armenian Mike. I still like the guy.
Me too.
I still wish that we could have him back on the show, but it's just a bad look for us. There's a lot of, people not happy about the situation, a lot of players not happy about the situation, all of that. It's just, obviously, it's not a good look to have somebody that acts like that on our show. But, like, personally, I like the guy, and I like playing poker with him. it's just it's just one of those business decisions you have to make.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta do those things, Ryan. Sometimes as the man in charge, you gotta make tough decisions. You gotta make tough calls. You gotta make tough plans.
Not an easy job, Joe. It's not an easy job at all.
It doesn't look like an easy job. I don't know if you guys know, but Feldman paces around the bicycle casino 7 hours a day trying to organize these lineups sometimes. So it definitely can be a I don't know. It looks definitely a consistent thing you have to keep up with consistently every single day, and a lot of diva personalities, a lot of people that are flaky, a lot of people that don't necessarily live up to their word all the time. So finding people who do those things, I think, is a very important thing to make your job easier as a person in charge of things.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I use a lot of skills, I guess you would say, or things that I've learned a long time ago to do my job. Like when I was in college, when I was in college, I worked at a summer camp as a counselor for teenagers, and had to learn how to deal with kids in the best way to treat them so that they give you respect. I learned that I thought the best way was to kind of be their friend and earn the respect so that when you have to discipline them, that they'll listen to you more. And then when I was in college, I went to a leadership academy. So I learned a lot about leadership. I was involved in a lot of activities. I was in my fraternity. I was in student government. I went to a leadership academy. I learned a lot about myself, about how to talk to people, how to communicate with people, how to delegate responsibilities, all that type of stuff. And I think that helped me a lot to develop me as a person who gets it. And then, I had different jobs as I went on. I was a basketball coach at one point. What else? I ran a basketball league at one point. I did a lot of different things. And, then I worked, corporate at ESPN for 5 years. And I had to deal with, I had to work with talent. I had to work with wealthy, famous, like people that have egos that are on the air. And I had to learn how to deal with those personalities and how to treat different people differently and kind of like suck it up and swallow your pride. And so I had to learn a lot about that. I use those skills there. And then all of this kind of relates to working at LiveAtTheBike and having to deal with these poker players who have egos or different personalities and having to deal with that. So I think that, I meet a lot of people over the years who aren't very experienced in life, who haven't gone through different things. And I have to like try to teach them how to, like friends or different people I come across or I work with, teach them how to understand different personalities, how to understand the perspective is all that, perception is reality. Perception is all that matters. It doesn't matter what you're trying to say. It matters how someone perceives something, how to construct an email, how to, whatever. There's so many different skill sets that you learn in business that can come into your benefit when you have a certain position. And I think that all the experience I had in life in different positions has helped me do this job at LiveAtTheBike, which isn't easy, but it relates to all the things I did before.
Leveraging your skills in the past you've gained to work with this job. I like that idea. I like that a lot. I think that probably goes why you've been able to make it a successful thing and to continue to grow it. And hopefully it only goes up from here, right?
Thank you. Yeah, it's amazing. Like so many poker players, by the way, just have only played poker their whole life and like don't know how to interact with people.
Bang, bang.
You see these things at the table or off the table where it's like, why would you say that? Like, what are you doing? Or they don't know how to treat the fish, or the recreational player, they don't know how to treat him. They don't know how to talk to a floor man. It's amazing how green people are in poker.
Brandon Barton says, Joey, keep the facial hair going and growing. Seriously, dude. Thank you, baby. Thank you, Brandon. Thank you. Thank you for that nice compliment. I can actually only grow facial hair on one side of my face. I can't grow it on this side of my face, so I'll never have a full beard, unfortunately. But if I could, I would. And I would absolutely love to. Guys, let's get some questions in the chat. Feldman, I'm really been working hard to keep this under an hour for people because I want them to watch this video on this topic to add some finality to the experience that took place. And I feel like every minute that goes over 45 minutes, they become less likely to want to watch it because they're scared of videos for over an hour because they have ADD and we're in the information age. Where
I watched the whole
videos on every single thing out there, and it's crazy right now. It's crazy out here, Feldman. It's fucking crazy.
I watched the whole 4 or 5 hour Fedor podcast like twice.
Sheesh.
Maybe not fully through, but I watched parts of it multiple times. The Ben Tolleran one I watched multiple times. You had some epic ones. I haven't watched the Barry Greenstein one much, and I heard that one's really good. And I watched most of the Berkey one. Yeah, you have some epic ones.
Thank you. Adam in the chat says, every bang bang I cringe more. Adam, every time you comment, I lose a little bit of will to want to live. So I appreciate you being in the chat and contributing to the negativity and the sadness of just myself. So thank you, Adam, for being here. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. So, yeah, is your mom in the chat? Linda Ziff, is this your mom, Feldman?
Yeah, that's my mom. Yeah,
shout out to your mom. What's up, Linda? Mami, when you coming to LA, Mami, live at the bike. Can we get her on the show, Ryan? Can we get her on Live at the Bike? Maybe play some Pot in Omaha, the great game.
She was here Mother's Day weekend. She met some people.
Hey, that's cool. Okay.
It's so funny. She texted me. Hold on, I gotta find the text.
Everybody, please say hi to Ryan's mom in the chat. Say hi to Linda, please. Everyone, give her a big shout out. Hola, mami. Hello, Linda. Hola, mami.
She texted me on Monday. She said, "I finally saw the craziness with commentary by someone named Joey Ingram."
And what else did she say? You can be honest. Did she bang on me? Did she tell a joke about my ability?
I'm reading the text. I said, yeah, he posted a video. She said, and did you hear him? He was really on your side. I said, yeah, he was fair. And she said, you were put in a tough spot. I hope that Armenian doesn't come after you.
might find Ryan a little joke on the side of the road. Listen, I don't want to joke about that. It's no joke, Feldman. All right, we're not joking about that kind of shit in this podcast today. We're not doing it. Everyone in the chat's giving a big shout out to your mother. Hello, hola, mami, hola, mamacita, coramosa.
You regret a joke, just remember that you just throw a chip in and you get it back.
People in the chat like to know if your mother's single, Ryan. Is that a fact?
No, she is not.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, guys. My mom's also taken. I apologize. I know you guys would love to be my father. You'd love to be Ryan's father and stepfather. But listen, one like on the video equals one chance one of our parents becomes divorced and you might have a chance to be our father. So yeah, just put a like on the video if you want an opportunity to be able to win that someday. So what does Live at the Bike got planned, Feldman? What can we look out for in the future here?
It's tough over the summer. There's not a lot of room to do things over the summer because people are gone. But I am working on a potential, stay tuned, a potential all athletes game.
Ooh.
That should be coming in July. So stay tuned for that. All athletes, just all former or current professional athletes. So that'll be fun. We're working on some sort of a celebrity cash game.
Okay.
Well,
did you steal that idea from the other show out there in LA now, or did you decide that one on your own? You wanted to do that?
Is it really that creative of an idea that needs to be stolen? Like seriously? Oh my God! What a great idea! What if we got famous people together to play poker? Like, yeah,
that's not a novel idea. What are you talking about, Feldman? I thought that was new.
God, that's how we're gonna make it in the poker streaming business. We're just gonna put famous people together who don't know what they're doing and play really low stakes poker and tell jokes, and that's how we're gonna crush it.
Wait, where can I watch? Are you for real? Where can I watch this at? I want in.
The problem is you can't unless you have channel 344.
Oh, well, can I watch it online or Twitch or anything like that?
No.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not talking about our show, but you will be able to watch ours on Twitch and YouTube, though. We'll do it.
Cool. Yeah. Your show's every 5 days a week on Twitch and YouTube. Yeah.
We'll put some celebrities together. We're working on that, and then after the summer, I'm gonna get back to it. So once the World Series ends, I'm gonna go hard and try to put together because we've kind of last few months kind of plateaued a little bit where it's the same shows all the time and maybe people are getting a little bored. So after the summer, we'll get back to it. Hopefully by then we'll be back to like the more 100, 200 games instead of 25, 50. We'll get some more like known players in here. I'm hoping to get your favorite or Doug's favorite poker player. Hope to get him on the show at some point.
Who's that? Luke Shorts, Daniel Grano?
Daniel Grano, yeah.
Okay.
Trying to get him on the show.
Make sure you raise the collection on that game because he's going to be pretty upset if they get to the low collection.
Yeah. We'll make that.
I'm kidding. Listen, that joke's played out. I'm just listen. I thought we were in 2000.
You should
we were last year. I'm sorry.
Put your chip in and take that joke back.
I thought. Yeah. Let me put my joke chip in. I'm kidding. I'm just fucking joking. Calm down. It's a joke.
I like Daniel a lot, and I love to get him on the show. I'm trying to put together like a game with like old school stars together. Some of those,
James Gold, Jamie Gold.
Well, I am trying to get Jamie Gold again. He said he wants to play on the show, so we're gonna work on that. He's a busy guy, but I do want him to play. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't even thinking him, but just like, you know, Phil, Mike, Daniel, Antonio, like all those guys together, you know what I mean? And one, Phil Lockman, get all those guys together in one show, like that would be awesome. With a few of the Live at the Bike fun player regulars, like that would be fun. So something like that. You know, there's some other people that I want to try to get when we get to like August. So yeah, I mean, the games are going to get better and better once the summer ends. A lot of our regulars too are fun players, our characters. They're in and out all summer for the World Series. So once they're back in LA when we get to August, then yeah, the games are going to get way better. And,
well, that's pretty exciting for people to pay attention to, man. Yeah, it's are you coming out here for the series at all? Are you going to plan to play the World Series of Poker at the Rio All Suite Spa Hotel and Casino, home of the World Series of Poker? Ryan, you going to be a part of that this year?
Now that you state it like that, yes, I'm going to come
to the Rio, home of the World Series of Poker.
July 3rd, I'll be there. I'm going to play the main in the last starting flight, July 4th. Stay out there for, you know, a week or so, or until I win the main event. So I'm going to do that. And if I bust early, I'll play a couple post-lim tournaments. And yeah, if hopefully we can meet up out there. And if any of you guys watching see me out there, feel free to come up and say hi. I'd love to meet all of you.
Hey, isn't that the guy from the angle video on YouTube? That's that guy. No, that was the guy that had King 7 and he didn't get paid for 8 minutes. That was the guy.
That's right.
Can I get a photo with you? You were the guy. That'd be amazing. Listen, I recognize you. Aren't you that guy? That's totally you, isn't it? Okay. What happened to that guy? That guy, what was he really joking? Was he really serious about that?
I can't imagine what it's going to be like in the World Series. Like
I can imagine. I can only imagine.
Everybody across the field is going to be talking about it, whispering.
Yeah, it's not going to be. You might need to carry around one of those cards where you just give it out. The card is the answer. No, he's not joking. Yes, I got the money. No, it wasn't scripted. Yes, I banned one show. Yeah, all this.
Exactly. All those questions will be asked. We should take a shot every time one of those questions is asked.
Listen, 1 like on this video equals 1 time someone asks Feldman that question.
Yeah.
1 like on the video equals 1 time Feldman has asked that question. So series, you're gonna be out here, and I'll be seeing you out here. The show goes on every week, right? 5 days a week, 4 days cash games, 1 day a show, non-cash game show on Monday, and then 5 days they can tune in anytime. Great performance with characters that they get to know over time and they get to enjoy, and maybe some drama once in a while. It looks like too.
You playing the main event this year?
Feldman, I am playing the main event this year. This is my first year. Listen, Ryan, I'm not bullshitting you. I'm not joking with you. Last year I did a giveaway. I missed the main event sign up. I apologize. That happens. But this year I'm not going to miss it. I'm going to be playing the main event this year, Ryan, and I'm very excited about it.
Nice. Good luck. Yeah, I've been playing some 4-card Texas Hold'em.
I really felt that good luck. I felt that a lot. That was like when you said good luck to me right there. I felt that you really meant good luck.
By good luck, I meant thanks for contributing to the prize pool. But
that's actually what I felt. I felt that you were saying you were trying to be like, it was a low key joke actually. It
was a joke.
Yeah, I really felt that it was.
That was my joke. Yeah. I've been playing some 4-card No Limit Hold'em lately.
What's that?
4-card.
Sorry, yeah. What are you playing? I'm just confused.
4-card Hold'em. You know, it's like when you play 2-card PLO. It's 4-card Hold'em.
No, I'm sorry. I'm serious. I don't know what you're saying. You're saying you play what? 4-card what?
4 cards.
You talking about the great game of Pop?
Okay.
I listen. I don't know what the hell kind of game you're talking about. You say 4. I don't even know what you just said, to be honest with you. Okay, but you're playing Pop Limit Omaha, the great game, 4 cards. What's been going on with that?
Yeah, I've been playing a little bit, trying to get better. You know,
I will not disrespect Pop Limit Omaha by calling it the name that you called it. That will not be acknowledged by me as a joke. That's no joking matter.
We actually have PLO on the show tonight. We got a 2-3 game. They've been getting PLO here at the bike like every day, 2-3.
Let's go. This is what I'm talking about. PLO's on the rise. We're rising, Feldman. The great game makes the great rise. I'm telling you right now, I'm excited. It's growing. It's out of control here. It really is.
I may or may not have played some PLO. Some of it heads up with Gilbert Arenas somewhere in the atmosphere.
What's that mean?
No, I'm saying played PLO with him.
When?
Yeah, we went like recently.
Heads up with him?
A little bit for a couple minutes.
Do you think I can get him on the podcast?
Possibly. But you already lost your bet. It's too late.
No, it's we ran it over for the next year.
Really? Wait, who's it with, Doug?
Doug, me and Doug Polk, the Supreme Leader.
Listen, Joey, I offered you a free way to come and get a player on the show and win your bet, and you didn't even respond and didn't come.
I was going through a rough patch in my life, Feldman. I'm going through a lot of things. You know, I was going through a rough patch.
Sasha, okay?
I don't know what that means.
Well,
I'm unaware of this topic.
I tried to spoon feed you that bet, and you didn't take advantage.
That's okay. You live and you learn. One more question from the chat, guys, and then we're going to wrap things up here. Ryan, what do you guys think about 4-color decks on Jimmy Bluffett? My man, Jimmy Bluffett. What's up, Jimmy Poppy? What's happening, brother? What do you think about 4-color decks, Ryan?
Weak last question, but it would be cool. I don't know how feasible it is, or like an actual 4-color deck or 4-color graphic.
I don't know. 4-color deck. I actually don't know. I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe both. I don't know.
More important are the graphics, right? Not the deck.
How about both?
I mean, the deck doesn't matter. You're looking at it, but yeah, the graphics would be cool. I think it's something we could do at some point. I don't know what the reason we don't do it, but it would be cool.
Okay. Well, we'll find one more question. That's it. Tung Hong, Joey, you're getting better every time. Thank you, Tung Hong. I appreciate that from you, Tung Hong. Thank you. Am I really getting better every time? I don't really know what that means. I don't know how to quantify getting better every time.
That must mean you were like terrible a couple years ago then.
Well, if you go back and watch the first videos, for sure, I'm a little bit trash compared to right now. Like I'm more timid and not as forceful or not as whatever. I don't know. I sound weird. That's true. I do. Now I'm more like exaggerated on certain words. You know, maybe I'll like play up a certain thing. I know to show some enthusiasm or excitement for a certain thing I might say, and other times I'll, I know how to dial it back a little bit better.
What is your average day like at the World Series right now? Like, are you going to the Rio?
Oh, no, Ryan. No. My average day is I wake up in the afternoon, I drink water, I maybe eat some food, maybe take an edible or two once in a while, play a little bit of Fortnite, maybe call up and get it, maybe set up an out-of-line situation for myself, see some friends, text people, decide if I want to leave the house, decide if I don't want to leave the house, and then I do it again the next day, every day. I'd make an Instagram post, I'll make a nice tweet, maybe put up a YouTube video and do a podcast. That's my current schedule for the World Series of Poker right now.
Think that you can have that routine and make millions like you do.
Yeah, listen, man, it is what I put in a lot of work. I worked hard for years. Now I'm reaping the benefits of not having to work that hard. So
not all heroes wear capes.
I love it, man. I love it. But yeah, any last parting words you want to tell people out there now?
No, just if you guys ever have any feedback for LiveAtTheBike, yeah, if you ever have any suggestions or ideas for shows or people that you want to play on the show or like that you want to see, whatever, let us know. We're trying to create more content. I know, Joey, you love the word content.
I don't.
We're trying to create more content, find ways to promote our players, put out some fun videos, do some different things, to get people excited. So look out for that in the next few months. We're going to find some creative ways to promote the characters on the show. We got a lot of fun players, a lot of fun personalities that get to play on LiveAtTheBike. We just have to get them out there so people know. Garrett Adelstein obviously being the biggest one and being one of the popular players in poker right now. And you can see him pretty much every Friday on LiveAtTheBike.
Well, guys, if you want to watch it out, check it out. If you want to see the angle incident that took place, go back and watch it. That's on my YouTube channel right now or on liveatthebike.com. Also, I should be having Johnny Vibes on the podcast tomorrow unless I move this back because I just realized the Potlam Omaha World Series Poker event's tomorrow. But yeah, that might go down tomorrow or hopefully Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Video blogger extraordinaire and a guy I've known for a long time. And
he commentated on the Armenian Mike hand.
Commentated on the hand. What a coincidence, Ryan. What a coincidence. It's almost like there's some correlation between the two of those things, right? What a coincidence.
What a genius.
I know, that's true. But yeah, guys, much love everybody out there in the chat. Shout out to Ryan's mom, Linda Ziff. Win the 8 million. Thank you, Linda. Me and Ryan are going to try to win the 8 million. And if we do, and if we win, we're going to celebrate in style, in Las Vegas style. But yeah, I appreciate all the comments out there, guys.
We'll do, if we win it, we'll do a giveaway.
If we win the main event, we'll do a giveaway. That's true. Amen. We're committed to that. Guys in the chat, much love everybody out there. Peace out. Take care.
See you guys.